Okay, so today we're going back to emails. We learned about the tone of an email, how it should be written, right? Professional, polite. Now we're going over the required parts of an email when you write it out, and then we should be done with emails. So this right here is a slideshow I'm giving you. The rest of these slides, you're going to fill in the blanks here, but the first slide is just a good example of what an email should look like. So you've got your address at the top here, where you're going to send it to, just like a phone number. You got to put that in. Subject, that is the summary of what the email is about. So it should be like, at most, maybe a sentence, less than a sentence. The whole point of the subject is that it tells you what the email is about at a glance. So for example, my emails here, I should be able to tell, oh, this is about Amazon. Okay, this is about Catch the Wave news, right? I should be able to tell that just very brief, because if you make it too long, then you're going to actually have to click the message. So very brief subject. Then you have what's called a greeting statement. So just like when you see somebody for the first time or in the hallway, you usually say hello, and then you start talking to them, right, to get their attention, right? So this is to get someone's attention. So I usually just put the person's name, Miss Cassidy, Dr. O, you can also just say hello, good morning, good afternoon, that kind of thing. Then this is the body, right? This is what you're actually writing out. And I noticed a lot of people in the beginning would say, I hope you're having a good morning, comma, and then start writing the body. Your greeting statement should be either the person's name or just something like hello, right? Very short, just like you see someone for the first time at the grocery store. You usually say hello and then you move on, right? It's just an introduction. This right here is the closing statement. That's supposed to close out the email, right? Hence the name. So if you were leaving someone in a mid-conversation, you would usually say bye or thank you or have a good day, have a good night. I usually say thank you for your time because that sounds really professional and respectful. And usually when you're writing emails, if you try to sound respectful, people will answer your emails quicker. That was another thing when it came to emails versus text message. Text message, it usually takes, at the most 30 minutes for someone to respond. Email, it's at least 2 days. 1 day usually, but 2 days is the max that I would think about sending another message out. Email's supposed to be very brief. You don't want to send a bunch of emails to one person. It's not a text message, right? It's supposed to just be one message, wait a couple days, then send another one. So closing statement, very brief, just like you're saying bye, thank you for your time, something like that. Signature, that's about you. So this is you, right? So I just picked a random name, Norma Bates. Also your student ID number, I just picked a random number, have no clue if that's right. And then the class period that you're in. So for example, if you were sending me this email, I want you to put your name at the bottom, your student ID number, and then what class period you're in. When you go to high school or college and you start sending emails to professors, they have hundreds of kids and lots of classes that they teach. And they don't only just teach one subject most of the time, they teach more than one. So you need to be able to write down on your email who you are, what class you're in. Because if you say, hey, I turned in this assignment but I don't see the grade, if your stuff on the bottom, your signature there, has that information, then they're going to quickly answer that email. Otherwise, they're going to have to look your name up in the system, find who you are, and then go find your grade, right? So just to save time, put that in your signature. So name, student ID number, class period, all three of those things. And this is color-coded. So just like I said before, the subject should be short, brief, less than a sentence. Greeting statement, just like you see someone for the first time, you say hi or their name, right? Closing statement, you're ending that conversation. You're saying bye, thank you for your time, hope you have a great day, something like that. Signature is your information so the reader knows who you are and they can get back to you if they need to. Sometimes people do put their email address like underneath their signature as well, but when you read an email, it's going to say, for example, if I pull up this Amazon email, let's do a different one. Football. So I know this is from Coach Arnold because it says up here. So his signature is this, and it's a picture, and we can make pictures at some point, but all of his information is right here. It also tells me where it's from. So I feel like that's a little much. You don't have to do that, but some people do. The rest of this assignment is you filling out what is missing, the parts. Don't focus so much on the tone unless it's obvious, right? TTYL, that's a little obvious. That's text message. That's not email. That's not professional. But most of the time, I'm just wanting you to find the signature, the closing statement, the greeting statement, and the subject. If, for example, this one does not have the greeting statement, on this text box, I want you to click on your text box and tell me what you would put for the greeting statement. Say it's missing the greeting statement, I would say blah, 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 right? Good morning, something like that. You're doing that for each one, and they're all a little different, so make sure you read through them, figure out which parts are missing. All right, so that is parts of an email. Revise emails is this right here. It's a little bit of both. So now we're putting together the tone that we learned about, the professional polite tone, plus the parts that we're learning about right now. So, for example, on this first one, number one, the spacing is all off, right? That first parts of an email that we talked about, look at that beautiful spacing. I love that. You hit return twice and you'll get this spacing. This looks really messy, unprofessional. So number one, there's no spacing here between the different parts. Number two, yo is not professional at all. I would get rid of the yo and put Miss Cassidy and then hit return a couple times. That would be my greeting statement. I would rephrase this, make it sound a little bit better, take out the ... There is no closing statement either. So maybe something like, thank you for your time. And then the signature here is missing the full name of Josh, right? Student ID number, and then class period. So for the signature that's missing something, just put your own stuff. Just put your own name, your own class period that you're in right now, and your student ID number. But that is what you're doing, and you're doing it here. So you should be able to click these text boxes. So number one is number one right here. You got number two here. Remember, read everything. Does it have the parts? Do number two here, right? So on and so on. All right, next, we did this one, exit ticket. All right, so that one, I'm giving you a scenario and you're gonna write out your email. So subject here and then your whole email here. And you should be able to type in this thing, right? Give me the spaces, all that beautiful stuff. So here I'm looking for, the email that you made, is it matched up with the scenario? Is the subject short? If I read the subject, can I kind of understand what this email is going to be about, right? Is there a greeting statement? Is there a closing statement? And did you put a signature? Your name, your student ID number, and your class period. That's what I'm looking for here. But I'm giving you a scenario, and you're just going to recreate that. Once you've finished the video that I'm doing now, and then these three things, you are done and you have free time, all right? If you have any questions, please let me know.